Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? Tonight we do have a Donald Trump town hall that will be happening in Flint, Michigan. Flint, the city with the water crisis, and obviously Michigan, a very important swing state. So we will be watching that a little bit earlier here tonight, probably 7 to 8. I think this is going to be an official town hall. We saw what happened with Fox News. It was kind of weird. The last one that I saw. This is going to be an actual one, I think, and I will go ahead and unmute it when it actually starts. But I think it should just be. Well, it looks like this lady's talking right now. Roger, what's good, bro? Sarah Huckabee Sanders, that's what they were talking about. She was going to be there.
How much do we love President Donald J. Trump? What an incredible night. It is such an honor to be here with you, and such an honor to share the stage with my friend and our country's favorite president, President Trump.
Arizona already having voting problems. Unfortunate. I mean, what are we supposed to do, though?
The left has tried everything they can think of. They've tried to impeach this president. They've tried to throw him in jail. And not once, but twice, two would-be assassins have tried to take this president down.
Why don't you talk about them admitting they want him dead, too?
But we're here to let them in on a little secret. God is not done with President Trump. He's the toughest guy I know, and he's the fighter that our country so desperately needs right now. And because of each one of you, he's going to be back in the White House and win big in November. You know, I stand here
tonight. Yeah, the crypto thing was pretty
as the former
crap,
White
honestly.
House press secretary, a job that I absolutely loved. And now, as the 47th governor and the first woman to ever lead my state.
It's Dark Brandon.
And while I'm incredibly proud of those things,
that's what's going on.
The most important job I have, the greatest title I have, is that of being a mom. I have 3 kids. That are 12,
I
10,
heard about
and
that
9.
100K in Arizona.
And my kids serve as a permanent reminder of everything that is at stake in this country. And it's why I'm here tonight. Because I want somebody who's going to stand up and fight for my kids. And I know that there is nobody in the country more suited, more qualified, and more prepared to step in and lead and make our country strong, free, and great again as Donald Trump will. Not only do my kids serve as a permanent reminder of what's important, they also keep me humble. You can walk into a room like this where people cheer when you step onto the stage, and you might think for a second that you're kind of special. Then you go home, and your kids remind you very quickly you're actually not that big of a deal.
Well, no, he's like 3 or 4 point favorites in Arizona right now.
My daughter Scarlett, who's 12 a couple years ago, was getting ready for her first ever father-daughter dance.
Situation.
Big deal at our house. Scarlett didn't just want to go to the dance.
Yeah, I think
she
Trump will
wanted a big
outperform
reveal.
again.
She wanted to come down the stairs and her Prince
He's
Charming, my husband,
twice,
to be
both
there,
elections.
and everything to be this magical, special thing. So I'm sitting at the top of the stairs, putting the finishing touches on Scarlett, making sure she's ready for the night of her life. And as I'm talking to her,
Yeah,
I'm
people are
telling
saying
her
she's
how
going to run in
proud I am of her.
2028. I don't think
How
she's going to do
thankful
anything.
I am that God chose us to be her parents. How beautiful
Hello
she
from
is on
Michigan.
the inside
My
and
first ever
out.
vote will be for Trump.
And as I'm
Green Bay
having this
sucks.
moment,
Yeah,
I start to
I
get
appreciate
a
it,
little
man.
bit emotional, teared up. As my eyes fill with tears, my sweet
You're a
daughter
Lions
reaches
fan, it
up,
looks
pats
like.
my shoulder, and says, "It's okay, Mommy. One day you can be pretty too." So my kids keep me humble. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble.
Willie Brown
You
might.
would think after 4 years of straight failure, she would know a little humility. Unfortunately, she doesn't. You would think after 4 years of wide open
Family
borders,
voting for Trump
skyrocketed
in Arizona.
inflation, and an embarrassment on the national stage,
I don't know what's going on in Arizona
she
about
would be held
100K.
accountable for the
Trump is
failures
a
of
criminal.
this
Well, I mean,
administration.
I know because
but
CNN
she
told
thinks
you,
she
right?
can walk away and get out of it. But we're
CNN
not
did tell
gonna
you
let
that,
her.
so it does. You're right. Sam, what's up, man?
Because the future of my kids
gotta get on
and the
Ozempic.
future of our country
Yeah, I mean, she does
depends
look a lot better.
so much on who our next president is.
Talk about the temporary diamond
It's why
on
I
the
know you're
78
here
Chicago.
tonight.
Well, this
It's why
is
it is
not
so
really one of those.
important that
This is a
we
political
show up
stream. But
in
I
the
understand
biggest
what you're
way
saying.
possible
I actually am going to be
and
doing a
send
video
a
tomorrow
very
on
clear
a stadium
message.
situation.
We are
But not that
finished
one.
with the failures of the Biden-Harris administration, and we're ready to bring our fighter back. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the greatest president our country has ever seen, our friend, our fighter, Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, Ozempic does stuff to your face, you're right. This song's copyright, I think, dude. Jesus Christ. That's probably going to be, they probably will take away my monetization. It's complete bullshit. Can we not do the songs? How confident are you Trump wins? I'm very confident that Trump will win. Vance DeSantis would be a powerhouse. Yeah, but I don't think DeSantis would want to be a VP. She would have been a better VP than, honestly, dude, in terms of getting votes, I mean, yeah, but she wouldn't be a good deterrent in terms of Trump, like, a safety blanket. Sent you a link for the article. All right, I'll have to take a look at it. It's gonna be a long intro. I'm really scared for his security. Flint is not even a safe place for regular people. Yeah, I mean, but if it's in an arena, it should be a lot safer. Anything outdoors is a problem. I think anything anywhere is a problem nowadays with this and then what's happening. So many guards. They probably had to get like a private frickin' team. Yeah, I mean, I said Tulsi would be a good pick, but again, that's like, if Tulsi would have been like a Republican for 3 or 4 years, I think she probably would have been the pick. Do you think Trump choosing Tim Scott would have secured it? I don't know if the VP is going to have that big of an impact, honestly. Georgia, I think Tim Scott would have helped with Georgia, though.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. That's a lot of people for a town hall. Nobody's ever seen a town hall like this. You know, a town hall is supposed to have about 300 people. You have about 8,000 people here.
It's a rally town hall.
And equally as important, you have about 8,000 people that are not here. They're walking away. But I think we have television outside, right? So they're watching from outside. Would anybody like to change places with them? I thought you were going to say that. Thank you, everybody. Hello, Sarah.
Mr. President, nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Well, it's been a great experience. It's a dangerous business, however, being president. It's a little bit dangerous. It's, they think race car driving is dangerous. No. They think bull riding, that's pretty scary, right? No. This is a dangerous business, and we have to keep it safe.
Mr. President, I don't think there's a person, certainly in this room tonight, and probably anywhere in the country, that doesn't remember exactly where they were on July 13th, that Saturday, when a horrific thing happened, an attack not just on you, but what I see as an attack on our entire country. They have... I joined with everyone in we know that you were tough. We saw it every day on the campaign. We saw it when you were president. But I don't think anybody was prepared for what we saw that day. And now it's happened not once, but twice. You've literally taken a bullet for our country, and yet you keep fighting. You never give up. The reason that you're going to win in November is because America needs a fighter. And
I mean, with the crowd, it's like it's a town hall.
We've never needed a fighter more,
a little bit much.
And we've never had somebody more qualified to step in and lead our country than you. I'd love for you to tell us, why do you want to be president, and why do you continue fighting even
Benny
after
boy.
they keep attacking you every
Remember
single
that?
day?
Remember him?
So we ran. Thank you, everybody. A lot of love in this room.
Dude,
I love you. You love me.
I was watching
You
Benny
love
Johnson.
Sarah.
He was just like, because I couldn't find the live stream. He was just like, I love Trump. He just said that.
So
I started busting out
we ran
laughing.
in 2016, and it was amazing. It was amazing, and we won. We then ran in 2020, and we did much better than 2016. People don't like to hear it, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, We got millions and millions more votes. We did much better. It wasn't even a contest. I was telling one of the papers, they said, what was the difference? I said, well, the difference is we did much, much better the second time. But we had a lot of things happen. We know what those things are. So what difference? Because now in like 48 days or whatever it might be, we're going to do something that will be, I don't think it's going to shock the world, actually. I think the world is going to be maybe prepared already. In Europe, they want it to happen. Even though they would not prefer dealing with me in terms of the economics, they still want it to happen because the whole world is blowing up, and they know it's not going to blow up if I'm president here. But, so we did great. And honestly, if I didn't do great, if we know what happened, and if that didn't happen, if I didn't do well in 2020, I wouldn't even think about doing this. But we did phenomenally well, and bad things happened, and we're not going to let it happen again. And now I'll tell you, so 2016, a lot of spirit. 2020, we had unbelievable spirit. And then we got let down because what happened should never be allowed to happen in this country again. But I have never seen the spirit like I've seen right now for this race. Never, ever.
Yeah, YouTube probably didn't send you a notification because I uploaded too many videos today.
Like it. It blows it away from 2016, from 2020. And basically, it's very simple. You're saying what? We're going to seal the border immediately. We're going to drill, baby, drill. You know, we're going to drill at a level. We're going to bring your energy prices down. We're going to try and get rid of a lot of that big lump of inflation that this administration has given us. And I have to say that President Biden called me yesterday. It was very nice. We had a very nice conversation. I appreciated that he called
Dark
about,
Brandon.
you know, what happened the other day. And he says, he's committed. He's committed. No, but, and today, a little while ago, I got a very nice call from Kamala. No, it was very nice.
Oh, Trump trying to be
very
unity.
Nice. It was very, very nice, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, Sarah is on Ozempic,
but we
I
have
mean,
to take back our country. We have to win. We're going to win, and we're going to make America great again. That's all there is to it. Very simple. Right?
I think it's safe to say that this crowd will all be voting for you.
You know, when I think of this state, it's so sad. Years ago, I was given, thank you very much, but years ago, I was given an award as like Man of the Year or something from an area that nobody knew, and the press said, oh, it never happened. Well, then it did happen. They found out where it was, but it was like 15 years ago. A beautiful area, but nobody remembered it. Nobody remembered it all. All of a sudden, like through a miracle, they found out it did exist, and it was there. And I had the speech, and the speech was, don't let them take your automobile industry away. They're taking your automobile industry away. And I don't know why you do it. Now, I wasn't a politician. I was an entrepreneur. I was a real estate developer, doing great, having a lot of fun, doing a much simpler life than this. Who would think that a developer's life is simple, but it's a lot simpler than this. But I said, don't let them do that, because here I am in Michigan, and I was getting an award, and I'm making a speech. I'm saying, what am I going to say? But I just watched common sense. I saw them leaving for Mexico, leaving for China. Do you know that right now, and they weren't building them with me, they weren't building anything in Mexico having to do with cars with me, because I said, if you build it, we're going to put a 200%, you're not going to sell one car into this country. But right now, they're building some of the largest auto plants anywhere in the world ever built. I have a friend that does that for a living, very good at it. He's the best, I think. And he's actually a
Chris
contributor,
Christie's coming out.
a supporter, but he builds the plants. And I say, you know, I'd like to go see a plant, a really great auto plant. You know, it's amazing technology, amazing what they do, really incredible, the amount of automobiles they can produce and the size of these things. I'd like to see a real modern plant. And he's the one that does them. And I said, so where would we go? I was hoping he'd say Detroit or someplace up here. But anywhere in this country, I'll take anywhere in this country, right? So will you, my greatest guy right over here. Stand up, will you, please? He's so...
An auto worker?
He's such a great guy. Oh, hi, everybody.
This is good. He's chilling in the auto.
We're going to bring him back. We're going to bring him back. We're not just going to keep... You know, you're losing your jobs, the whole thing, but just, so they're building. So I said, where would I go? And let's go take a look at a beauty. He said, well, we'll have to go to Mexico. I said, wait a minute, I'm not interested. No, I want to know here. He said, here we don't build top of the line. We build smaller plants. We build, there's just not that kind of a thing. And I said, isn't it sad? He feels that too. You know, he's a United States guy. But he said, if you want to see the big ones, you're going to have to go to Mexico. They're owned and built by China in Mexico. And there are a number of them going up right now. And they think they're going to make their cars there, and they're going to sell them across our line, and we're going to take them, and we're not going to charge them tax. We're going to charge them, I'm telling you right now, I'm putting a 200% tariff on, which means they're unsellable. Unsellable in the United States.
That's a big thing.
And then you wonder why it gets
tariffs.
shot at, right? You know, only consequential presidents get shot at. When I say something like that, you have countries saying, this guy, but what can you do? You have to do
What about NATO pulling out of NATO?
Right? You have to, we have to be brave, otherwise we're not going to have a country left. So what's happening is they're building these massive auto plants, and they think they're going to make tens of thousands of automobiles and sell them in here. No tax, no nothing. It's not going to happen. When you put on tariffs, tariffs are the greatest thing ever invented. You know, I took in $467 billion from China. Nobody else took in anything, and China's economy is not even doing that well. And Biden, you know, they have not been able, and Kamala, they have not been able to take those tariffs off because there's so much money. And frankly, if they did take them off, this country would be flooded with Chinese cars. You don't have the Chinese cars. We put a pretty good tariff on.
Joe Rogan endorsed.
It was going to be lifted at some point. Then we had COVID. We did a tremendous job in COVID. We gave you a stock market that was higher than just prior to COVID coming in. And we did a great job. We never got credit. We got credit for the best economy maybe ever. We got credit for having defeated ISIS and having rebuilt our military. We shouldn't have given, Sarah, we shouldn't have given $85 billion worth of equipment to the Taliban, to Afghanistan. I think the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. That whole thing was the most. When we were leaving with me. I was the one that got it down to the right number. We were going to keep the big air base, which is exactly 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. Think of that, 1 hour away. And we gave it up. We just gave it up. One of the biggest, one of the most, we spent billions and billions of dollars many years ago. The runways can hold more weight than any runway ever built. Think of that. They're, I think, 19,000 feet long, which is, 3 times what a normal runway would be. It's called Bagram. And we were going to keep that because of China, not because of Afghanistan, 1 hour away from where they make their nuclear weapons. So that was a good one. We left, and the way we got out was so embarrassing. And because of that, first of all, 13 dead soldiers. I've gotten to know their families. They're incredible families, but they'll never be the same. Many badly injured, Sarah, nobody ever talks about the soldiers that are badly injured. They talk
it might
about
be someone that's
dead,
asking
and we
a
always
question.
have to say that, number one, and great families. But nobody ever mentions the fact that some of the soldiers were hurt so badly, the arms, the legs, the face, like obliteration. We left American citizens behind, and they're not too happy, I can imagine. But if they're living. And we also gave them $85 billion worth of the best military equipment, all beautiful, brand new, between the goggles and the planes and the armor-plated cars. We gave them armor-plated trucks and cars and vehicles and so much. And they're one of the largest sellers now today of military equipment in the world. They're selling this stuff. 777,000 rifles and guns. Think of that. How do you have that anyway? Who would put that? We have 71,000 trucks and cars, and again, many of them armor-plated. So what happened is when Russia looked at that, they said, we're going to invade. We're going to go into Ukraine. If that didn't happen, I don't think, and I guarantee you, if the election were a straight election, we won that election, we should have won that election, everybody knew we won the election, they would have never attacked. Putin never would have attacked, but the oil prices got driven up at $100 a barrel. He made money. He's the only guy who fought a war, and you make money fighting a war, but it got driven up because of their bad energy policies. But when he saw that, and you wouldn't have had, think of this, you wouldn't have had, how different would the world be? You wouldn't have had Ukraine being attacked by Russia. You wouldn't have had October 7th in Israel, where that horrible situation took place because Iran was essentially broke. They had very little money.
I saw Waltz doing a rally today, like an hour ago,
actually. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. That's all we want.
It had like 100
we don't want you to have a
viewers.
nuclear weapon. We would have made a good deal with Iran. They would have been happy. And I think they're going to end up being very unhappy, but it's very dangerous. They're very close to a nuclear weapon. And the other thing, you wouldn't have had inflation. You wouldn't have had inflation because inflation was driven up by their bad energy policy. And you remember your gasoline started going up to $5 and $6 a gallon. And then what happened is they said, oh, we're going to get killed. We have an election. We're going to get killed. And they went back to my policy. So they went back to the same. What they don't, and they say, we produce the same amount as Trump. Well, they went right back to my policy, or you would have had $25 a gallon gasoline. So they went back. What they don't say is, though, I would have been producing 4 times as much. And I took us from third into first place by a lot. But we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country in the world, including Saudi Arabia, including
Kids guide
Russia.
President Trump.
And
I'm ordering that for my cousin.
We would have been so dominant in energy.
No, I'm
we would
joking.
have, you know, we didn't need any energy from anybody. We didn't have to protect any
I'm
other
ordering that for
countries
some of the
in order
chat
to
'cause they're
get their oil,
14.
which we've done for many years in the Middle East. We were energy independent. Sounds so beautiful to say it. We're energy independent. We were soon going to be energy dominant, and we would have been now having so much money coming out of the energy. We just have the best. We have Bagram in Alaska. They say it might be as big, might be bigger than all of Saudi Arabia. I got it approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. I got it done. In their first week, they terminated it. Check that one out. Bagram. Check that one out.
He always talks about Bagram.
Between Bagram, you go to Anwar, you take a look at the kind of things that we've given up. We should have that air base. We should have that oil. We would have had a whole different country. But to give up Anwar, to give up the biggest air base, military air base in the world, and they left it in the dark of night with the lights on, and they did leave the dogs behind. There are a lot of people, they say, what about the dogs? They left the dogs behind. But we would have been
Eat the dogs.
We would have been a
Eat the
much different country right now. But we're going to get it back, and I promise you we're going to get it back with guys like this and people like that. And, Sarah, just one thing, because this is the world's longest answer to an otherwise simple question, but the difference is I give an answer that's productive as opposed to an answer that is not very productive, right? Like in the debate. But just to end this, we are going to, for Michigan, because we want to be a little bit Michigan-centric.
Yeah, Trump just said
You
Bagram
used
was
to
in
be
Alaska.
the capital of the world in cars.
Well, there goes their
Today
narrative
you're
that he's
an
old.
afterthought in cars. And I
That'll be
don't know
played
the
by
head of your
Kamala
union.
HQ.
I've never met the gentleman, Sean. I've never met him. But what he's done to your union and what he's done by agreeing to allow this country to say we're going all electric, which at some point they're going to end up taking back that mandate because that mandate is insane. They want to go all electric basically by 2030. And for him, think of this, for him to do that, just real fast, you're right now at 25% of where you used to be and heading south because the electric cars are all going to be made in China and Mexico, but they're all going to be made basically in China. We are going to bring so many auto plants into our country. You're going to be as big or bigger than you were 50 years ago.
Yeah, Walls is live right now.
If they're not willing to build a plant, we don't want their product. And that's enough. That's all I wanted.
See, you like the big crowds, but like it's not productive.
And it'll happen. It'll happen fast.
But you like the big crowds.
It'll happen very fast.
It's just
I
hard to
think
get the
it's
questions.
safe to say that Michigan is happy that you're going to be president again. And Mr. President, we don't mind that you give long answers because you actually have something to say, because you actually got something done when you were president.
You know, it's a very interesting because she said, I don't think I've ever said this before. So we do these rallies. They're massive rallies. Everybody stays till the end, by the way. You know, when she said that, well, your rallies, people leave. Honestly, nobody does. And if I saw them leaving, I'd say, and ladies and gentlemen, make America great again, and I'd get the hell out, okay? Because I don't want people leaving. But I do have to say, so I give these long, sometimes very complex sentences and paragraphs, but they all come together. I do it a lot. I do it with Raising Cane, that story. I do it with the story on the catapults on the aircraft carriers. I do it with a lot of different stories. When I mention Dr. Hannibal Lecter, I'm using that as an example of people that are coming in from Silence of the Lambs. I use it. They say, It's terrible. So they say, so I'll give this long, complex area. For instance, that I talked about a lot of different territory. The bottom line is, I said, the most important thing. We're going to bring more plants into your state and this country to make automobiles. We're going to be bigger than before. But the fake news, there's a lot of them back there. You know, for a town hall, there's a lot of people. But the fake news likes to say, oh, he was rambling. No, that's not rambling. That's genius when you can connect the dots. You gotta. Now, Sarah, if you couldn't connect the dots, you got a problem. But every dot was connected, and many stories were told in that little paragraph. But there is something, but they say that. The other thing I say is this. We had 107,000 people show up in New Jersey. We had 68,000 people show up in Alabama. We had 79 or 81,000 in South Carolina. And they'd never said, I'm a great speaker. And I said, am I a great speaker? They say, oh, no, he rambles. What the hell are all you people showing up for if I ramble? You don't want to show up for a rambler. So anyway, thank you very much.
We know. Let's get the question.
Mr. President, no one has done more to fight for the American worker than you, to bring back jobs and manufacturing to this country. Tonight, there's obviously a lot of people that really care about the auto industry here. And tonight we have a question from one of the auto workers, Isaiah, here in the audience that would like to ask a question.
Good. Sure. Where's Isaiah?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll build a brand new beast. We're going to build a beast right here.
Wait, what happened?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President, for having us here tonight. I just want to let you know that I've attended one of your rallies. I did not leave early, and I did not fall asleep. Just want to let you know that, sir. I did not do it. I did not do it. I didn't see anybody else doing it either, sir. My name is Isaiah. I'm a third-generation UAW worker, working hard to build trucks here in America. Yes, yes.
Get ready. You're going to be doing plenty of it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I work for Ford, and you actually came and visited the plant that I work at.
That's right.
You did. And my question to you, sir, is what do you see as the major threats to the future of Michigan manufacturing auto working jobs, and what will you do to eliminate those threats, sir?
Okay, so I'll get into another little bit of a long answer, because when you say major threat, to me we have one really major threat that's called nuclear weapons. We have other countries that are hostile to us. They don't have to be hostile to us. I always say if you have a smart president, you'll never have a problem with China, Russia, or any of them, okay? I got along great with Putin. I got along great with President Xi. I got along great with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Everybody said, oh, you can't get along with him.
You have to.
He liked me. I got along great with him, and he has a lot of nuclear force. But you essentially have 5 countries, and you're going to have more. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have more. It's the single biggest threat to the world, not only Michigan, to the world. And you're not going to care so much about making cars if that stuff starts happening. And we have people that are not good at negotiation. The war should have never happened. President Biden, I want to be nice. Yeah, he was so nice to me yesterday, but you know, in one way, I sort of wish the call wasn't made, because I do feel he's so nice. I'm so sorry about what happened and all that, but I have to lay it out. We have very important, and the same with Kamala today. She could not have been nicer. But the fact is, we have to have people that are respected by the opponent, by the other side, by other countries that have this. Even Pakistan has nuclear weapons. We have countries. India has a lot of nuclear force. We have countries that have tremendous nuclear power. And when I hear these people talking about global warming, that's the global warming you have to worry about. Not that the ocean's going to rise in 400 years, 1/8 of an inch, and you'll have more seafront property, right, if that happens. I said, is that good or bad? I said, isn't that a good thing? If I have a little property on the ocean,
they don't really talk about that anymore.
Property. I have a little bit more ocean.
sea
But the
level.
fact is that it's a tremendous problem, and we are closer to World War III today than we've ever been. And the difference is, and I say this a lot, this isn't Army tanks going back and forth and shooting at each other. This is obliteration. The power of these weapons, and I'm the one that revived it, and I hated to do it.
Oh, nice, some
But, you know,
highlights.
we had stuff that was 48 years old. They didn't even know if it worked. We have incredible stuff. So does Russia. China has much less, but they're going to catch up over 4 or 5 years. It's the single biggest threat by far to civilization. And nobody talks about it. They talk about global warming. Used to be, remember? Used to be global warming. You know, they changed the name. You know why? Because the planet's getting cooler now. So now what they call it is climate change, because that covers everything. See, climate change, if it gets hot, cool,
Climate
these
change is always
people,
happening.
I don't know if they're for real, but if they're not, they're covered by the words climate change. If it gets cooler, that's good. If it gets hotter, that's good. Global warming wasn't working so well. But the single biggest threat, okay, now let's assume we have a really smart president, and that's not going to be a threat because we have a lot of power. Doing business with China is a good thing, but you have to have a fair deal. Doing business with Russia, they have so much in terms of minerals and things. The size of their land mass is like 4 times bigger than the United States. The minerals and things they have, we can do great business, and you keep everybody happy. You can solve that problem. But let's talk about the local problem. The local problem
Talk
is
about
that you
liberals
have countries
restricting fossil
stealing your business. Mexico is a very big one. Mexico, this year, we have a deficit with Mexico of $250 billion. Think of this. With Mexico, little Mexico, you think of it as a little innocent place. We're losing our ass to Mexico. China, you don't even have to talk about. We have over $1 trillion this year. I was charging them numbers that were unbelievable, and now he's just totally given up the ghost. And we're going to lose $1 trillion in deficits to China. $1 trillion. That's not sustainable. We're going to turn it all around, and we're going to do it through taxation and tariffs. It will be done in 24 hours, and it'll change the whole planet. Just so you know, Sarah, China became powerful because they charge. They don't call them tariffs. They call it a tax. They don't call it tariffs. The word tariff is a beautiful word to me, but to a lot of people that don't understand, it's not a beautiful word because you have a lot of people that are paid off by these countries. They're taking care of these countries, and they don't care about destroying the United States. They want millions of dollars in fees and consultation, but we will, literally in a period of 24 hours, we can change the whole trading of the whole world. They've taken advantage of our country for years. I stopped it. I stopped so much of it. And then we had a focus on COVID.
That is true.
Which
They
a
have
lot of
taken advantage
people
of us.
said was put in there for a reason. You know, it came out of the Wuhan lab, which I said right from the beginning. All of you know. It didn't come out of a cave. They said a cave. It didn't come from France. They blamed France. They blamed, I call it the China virus because I like to be accurate, you know? They call it the Spanish flu. They call it all different names when something comes from a country, except for China. We have to call it COVID. What the hell does COVID mean?
Remember, it was
the China
racist.
virus. And a lot of people think they did that because they were not happy with me as president. I actually had a great relationship with President Xi. And in his own way, he probably liked me the most, but maybe or maybe not. I saw that Putin the other day endorsed Kamala. And you have to understand, these are major chess players. So when he endorses Kamala, he may say, well, I did that because I love you, and it's better to be doing
Richard,
it.
he should
So
be
who knows? But he
explaining it
endorsed
in more
Kamala,
detail,
which is
but
a little
you're right.
unusual. I was watching, I said, that's interesting. I think that's a good thing, isn't it? It really is. But look, we have to turn it around, and we can. We're going to have a reciprocal trade tax. We're going to have so if China charges 152%, which they do in a car, if we sell a car made here into China, which you don't do because the tax is too high, they say to all your companies and to others, and to Elon Musk, who gave us, he is a great guy. He gave me the strongest endorsement, and he's a really wonderful guy. But they say to him, we don't want your car unless you build your plant in China. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. That's smart people say that. We haven't said it for many years. I said it. We have a lot of plants going up with Apple and other things. I said, you got to build plants. You don't build plants here, we're going to put the tariffs on your products coming in from China. So we can do it quickly, but we're going to have what's called a reciprocal
Looks like it's an
trade
extended
act.
rally.
Now, I dealt with a senator, a very good senator, actually, but he knows nothing about trade. I said, here's what I want to do, Senator. I want to take the reciprocal trade. If they charge us 100%, we charge them 100%. He said, you mean they charge us, we charge them? You got me. How simple could it be? It was sort of cool because he doesn't care. He's a senator, doesn't care about trade.
Hey, someone
but,
buy me that.
So we're going to call it the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act, or I'll leave the name Trump off as long as we do it. So when India, which is a very big abuser, he happens to be coming to meet me next week, and Modi, he's fantastic. I mean, fantastic.
Bloomberg is
man.
probably worse this cycle.
A lot of these leaders are fantastic. You have to understand one thing. They're 100%. These people are the sharpest people. They're not a little bit backward. They are at the top. You know the expression, they're at the top of their game, and they use it against us. But India is very tough. Brazil's very tough. There are certain countries, I can tell you every one. I can give you from top to bottom. China's the toughest of all, but we were taking care of China with the tariffs. So we're going to do a reciprocal trade. If anybody charges us 10 cents, if they charge us $2, if they charge us 100%, 250, we charge them the same thing. And you know what's going to happen? Everything's going to disappear, and we're going to end up having free trade again. And if it doesn't disappear, we're going to take in a lot of money. Okay? But you know, the biggest beneficiary, I believe, is going to be your state. And I won't say that to other states, I promise. About your state, you are going to have plants built at a level that you haven't seen in 50 years. Okay? Great question. Thank you. Thank you.
He did answer it there at the end.
Mr. President, one of the other things I think that you did that helped protect the American worker as much as anything else, and also make our country and our communities safer, was you actually did something about the border. Just this month, there was a woman in my home state of Arkansas who was killed by an illegal immigrant who was drunk driving, that was deported during your administration and came back under this administration because they have failed to protect our country. It's one of the great threats that we face that you actually did something about.
A lot.
Tell us what you will do on day one to help protect our country.
So we're going to be, day one, we're doing two things. Closing the border and drill, baby drill. Two things. We're going to get down the prices.
It's transparency, at least.
Thank you.
At least his wrangles are transparent.
Nice people. I like this crowd.
You know,
I like this crowd.
Yeah,
No, you know what? You're smart
more
people.
of a rally.
So, Sarah, thank you. So, over the last couple of years, I've been talking about the border. I got elected in 2016 because of the border. But that border was peanuts compared to what this border is. That border was like a safe border compared. And I did it. I did a great job. And it also includes drugs, came to a much lower. Look, unless you have the death penalty for drug dealers, you'll never get rid of the drug problem. Put that through your head, okay? Put that through your head. And I don't know if our country's ready for it. When I was with
a lot of people are against that.
President Xi, and again, until COVID, I had a great relationship. Once that happened, I really didn't want a relationship because $60 trillion, millions of dead people all over the world. I was not exactly thrilled with him. But before that, I had a great relationship. And I said, do you have a drug problem? No, we have no drug problem. Oh, how come? Death penalty, immediate. I said, what does that mean, immediate? Immediate. We have what's called a quick trial. You know what a quick trial is? Like in one day, the trial is over. Over here, it'll be 25 years. They'll get some nice liberal lawyer, and they'll have it tied up for 25 years. The guy dies of old age. So, but they have a death penalty. In Singapore, they have a death penalty. In a lot of countries, they have a death penalty. You sell drugs because the average drug dealer kills during his or her life 500 people. The average one. The big ones, much more. But when you hear that, when people start to hear that, and I set up blue ribbon committees, I put, nice people, dilettantes from New York and from people that know nothing about drugs, and they're dealing with very smart people These dealers are smart as hell. They're tough as hell. And they make a fortune. They make a fortune. And if you don't have the death penalty for drug dealers, you're just wasting your time. Now, we can keep it down, and we can do better than we're doing now, and a lot better than we're doing now, because what's happening now is out of control. But we had the lowest human trafficking, mostly in women, I hate to say, mostly in women, but we had the lowest human trafficking in 32 years. You know my favorite chart, the chart I put
Barron
down.
Trump joins X.
When I look to the right, that'll be my all-time favorite chart in history. That was basically a chart showing what a good job I did on immigration. But even if it showed I did a bad job on immigration, it will be my all-time favorite chart, because I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't look over. Let me see that chart. That was not good. My all-time favorite chart. Blue, yellow, red. It was beautiful. Oh, there it is. There it is. There, that was good. These guys are very good back. I didn't expect. That's a good. You know, the interesting thing, it's always on my left. It's at rallies. It's always on my list. I only do it about 15, maybe 20% of the time, so I don't do it much. And it's always at the end of a speech. But it's always here. For some reason, they dropped it here. It was at the beginning of the speech, the very beginning couple of sentences. And I turned like a deer bolting, I guess, right? They say good hunters say this. Every once in a while, a deer will bolt prior to the shot. And I don't know, I guess mine was a form of, but I turned around to look at it. It was right here, behind me, actually. And my head was at a perfect angle. It got me. But if you got to be hit, that's the best place. Although it's blood. The doctor, I said, how come so much blood? He said, the ear bleeds more than it. I said, I'll take it. I'll take it. But it was an amazing thing. And I have to say, because I have to, while we're on the subject, because people do like to talk about it. A few days ago, we had an incident. I have to say, Secret Service did a hell of a job. They really did. They caught one of the gentlemen one of the agents was walking a couple of holes in front, and he saw a rifle, AK-47. That's serious stuff, right? You know more about that. My sons know more about this stuff. But AK-47, that's a bad one. The other one was an AR-15. This was an AK-47. And he saw the barrel of the gun coming out from a bush. Can you believe it? This guy was all set. He was all set to do his number. And there was no talk. He didn't say, hello, what are you doing here, please? And he ends up getting shot himself. He took his gun, started shooting him. And this guy ran. No, great job. I don't know if where is he? Not here, right? These guys do a great job. Now, they do need more people, and they've been complaining about that for a long time, but he did a great job. But you want to know another sort of a miracle? So the guy is now running for his life, and he's got a car a block away or whatever. And a woman, this is a woman, not a man, a woman, see? Women are smarter than men. I hate to say.
Pandering there.
How does that sound? Our great First Lady is very happy now. Let me just tell you, think of this. Who would do this? I actually asked, I was with the sheriff this morning, I was with a couple of people from Secret Service, who would do this? So you now have a man running, not with a gun, he dropped the gun, we found the gun, but he was gone. And a woman driving in a car saw a man on the street, pretty busy street, running. And she followed him. And he got into the car, and she stopped because she thought he was trouble. He looked different. Like trouble. She followed him, it wasn't very far, and parked the car behind his car and started taking pictures of his license plate. Now think of it.
They were like a Karen got him.
Sarah, think of it. No, seriously, who would do that? It's
The women.
not from good or bad, not from, strength or heroism. No, just, you see somebody running. I see people running all the time, and you don't follow. She saw something in this guy that was bad.
His feminist arc, it's happening right now.
Because there were four gunshots. Actually, the shots, he never got off a shot. The shots were from Secret Service. But think of it, who would do this? If you took 1,000 of these incidents, would even one person have done it? this woman was, I haven't met her, but I'd like to meet her. I'm going to meet her, I hope. But think of this. She goes in, she takes pictures of the plate, and then she sends the pictures into the sheriff's office. And the sheriffs are saying, wow, this is pretty amazing. And they were able to get this guy within 10 minutes at a high-speed chase on the highway. They got him.
They got him quick.
Otherwise, we'd probably have an AK-47. They had the camera. He had the whole thing. He was a sophisticated guy. He even had the serial number taken off the rifle, the gun. But think of this. So we'd have all the stuff. But I'd be walking around saying, I wonder where this guy is. Is he in this audience? We would have a maniac out there. This woman was unbelievable. Because I actually asked the sheriff, if it happened 1,000 times, would anybody have done that? He said, maybe, but not much, not much. So she did she was really amazing, amazing job.
Well, we're glad she did. I think there are a couple takeaways there. One, the women of this country love Donald Trump and are going to make sure we do our part.
It's going to be hard for him to win the women vote.
And I think one of the other things that we all know in this room certainly is that God is not finished with you and he has big plans.
Interviewer W.
Sarah, I just want to say one thing. So when I heard about this tonight, I said, so where am I speaking? Michigan.
Get your head down, bro.
Michigan. I want to talk about cars. I love talking about the cars because it's so simple. It's so ridiculous that this is happening. You don't want the electric. You do want electric cars, 7%, 8%. Elon makes a great product. But you know what? And I've driven. His car is incredible. Other cars are incredible. But you have a little thing. But you want to have gasoline-propelled cars. You want to have hybrids. You want to have all sorts. They say a new one is going to be hydrogen. Who the hell knows? They said it has a slight problem. It blows up. And if you're in the car, that could be a little problem. But you want to be able to have whatever it is, whatever the market is and all that stuff. But they said, sir, you're having a town hall.
Yeah, there was an
tonight.
audience question.
I said, a town hall? Well, what the hell? They want a rally. They don't want a town hall. Town hall. And
They made the town hall a rally.
So who is the host? Because host or hostess. And they said, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And I said, oh, that's good. I like that.
Why is she in Michigan?
But I figured, Sarah.
I know. I think they just made her the host. You're right. It is kind of
We
weird.
will make America great. Everyone's going crazy. We had one the other night. But you know what? Can I be honest? This was more fun than a rally today. This was fun. This was good, right? This was very good.
We're going to take another question from the audience. Maybe the only job in the country harder than being president of the United States is being a mom, especially under this administration, because they're making everything harder. And tonight we have a mom here in the audience, Barbara, that's behind us, that has a question for you.
Trying to boost Trump with women, it makes sense.
Hi, Barbara. Hello back there.
Cowboy hat.
Good evening. Good evening, President Trump. Thank you for taking our question.
Thank you.
My name is Barbara. I'm a mom of 3, a grandmother of 7, and 3 great-grands, a registered nurse, retired nurse. So I know the cost that goes into raising children and running a household.
Yeah.
People just can't survive now. How are you going to bring down the cost of food and groceries?
Good. Very good. Thank you. So we have to start always with energy, always. I don't want to be boring about it, but there's no bigger subject. It covers everything. If you make donuts, if you make cars, whatever you make, energy is a big deal, and we're going to get that. It's my ambition to get your energy bill within 12 months down 50%. If I can do that, we've done a hell of a job. 5-0, not 15, 50. Interest rates are going to follow, and actually they're going to follow for another reason. The economy is now not good, and interest rates, you'll see they'll do the rate cut and all the political stuff tomorrow, I think. And, will he do a half a point? Will he do a quarter of a point? But the reason is because the economy is not good. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it. But we're going to get interest rates down, and we got to work with our farmers. Our farmers are being decimated right now. They're being absolutely decimated. And, one of the reasons is we allow a lot of farm product into our country, and we're going to have to be a little bit like other countries. We're not going to allow so much come. We're going to let our farmers go to work. And I don't know if you remember, I love the farmers because, I had many meetings as president. I had this gorgeous room with this beautiful table that seats about 35 people. And I was with the farmers. Usually everybody wants something. They all want subsidy. But I was with the farmers, and I think you might have been there, actually, Sarah. I said, look, fellas, we're going to get you such a beautiful subsidy, meaning I'm going to do things. And one of the people raises in, sir, honestly, we don't want a subsidy. This is the first time this ever happened to me. Everyone wants, they want money, they want to build windmills. We want money with these windmills. Anyway, but you know what? It was amazing. He said, almost tears in his eyes, they were getting decimated. We don't want a subsidy. We just want to play, a fair, level playing field. And I said, nobody's ever said that. And I have many industries and many groups of people from different things. They do all different things. It's probably the most dramatic I've ever seen. He didn't want anything. All he wanted was to be able to compete fairly. And the problem we have is other countries, they treat us very badly in that way also. They really are. And sometimes the worst countries are our so-called allies. I say so-called because in many ways they're not allies at all. They take advantage of us. They really take advantage. But we're going to do with the farmers. We're going to do what we have to do with the farmers.
A question when I asked him something about immigration.
I when I was negotiating with China, China said, well, we're not going to deal with this because they never had anybody negotiate. They did whatever they want. They just took us for a bunch of suckers. But I told the farmers it's going to be very good negotiators. You're going to suffer for 6 months, and then they're going to fold. And that's exactly what happened. They folded, and they agreed to buy $50 billion.
He didn't say he had anything to do with it.
You might have heard the story.
He just said what was going to be happening, or he thought
how
was going to
much?
be
I
happening.
went to the Secretary of Agriculture. How much did they buy? He said 15. I thought he said 50. So when they're ready to make a deal at 15 billion, I said, no, I want 50. That's what they've been buying. He said, no, it's 15. I said, you said 50. And he said, no, we said 15. I said, that's okay. Ask for 50 anyway. And we got it. We got it. And they buy a lot of our product. But so it's just a great interest rates, energy, and common sense. A lot of it's common sense, everything. I like to say we're the party of common sense. We want to have a strong border. How about we want a strong, all of a sudden, they've changed. They didn't want any border.
Right.
They said walls don't work.
Right.
Two things work. What are the two things? Wheels and walls.
They called you
if I
racist
do,
for that.
there's a gorgeous computer down here. In about 2 weeks, it's going to be obsolete. A friend of mine is in that business. He hates it. He said, we come up with a new model, and it's the greatest. About 3.5 weeks later, the damn thing's totally obsolete. The only thing that never gets obsolete is a wall and a wheel. And the wall is what we're talking about now. And, we built hundreds of miles of wall. We then added more than I ever said I was going to do. And then we had that bad election result, that disgusting result. And they never put it up.
And they
what they
scrapped
did
the
with
parts
it? They
for
sold it for 5 cents, and it was expensive wall. It was exactly what the Border Patrol wanted, with the anti-climb plate on top, which I always hated because I didn't like the look of it. But, they demonstrated it. We had mountain climbers and a couple of drug climbers, too. These guys are amazing. They put 100 pounds of drugs on the back, and they go up the wall like it's nothing. But they couldn't get over the plate. So all of a sudden I said, okay, I'll put the plate on. I didn't like it. I liked it better without the plate, but it didn't work quite as well. So this is what we did. We had it. We had the best. We had a thing called Remain in Mexico. You don't have to be a genius to know Remain in Mexico is a very good thing. And you think that was easy to get. I think Tijuana, Mexico was probably the fastest growing city in the history of the world. Okay, they had hundreds of thousands. They couldn't come in. When they got in, they let everybody pour into our country. The border, just to finish with the border, when I talk about energy, to me it's exciting, but to a lot of people it's not. But it gets exciting because we'll bring down your costs, all that. But what people want to hear, and I believe when I got elected, I believe it was the border that was the biggest thing, and I fixed it, and I did a great job. And I wanted to mention it in 2020, and my people would say, sir, nobody cares about the border. They don't care because I had it fixed. Now I got to fix it again. I believe the border is of the greatest interest. When you look at,
I really think Kamala can talk to Putin. She's not going to talk to Putin.
when you look at what's happening in Aurora, okay, take a look at Aurora. When you look at what's happening in Ohio, the great state of Ohio, I love it. I'm way the hell up. I wish I was up 18 points in your state, but we are up. We are up.
You're up by 12.
I think when people hear what I have to say, I don't know how you can possibly lose it. I'll tell you this, and I'll say this for Michigan. If I don't win, you will have no auto industry within 2 to 3 years. It'll all be gone. And I know you got a little bit of an increase. It doesn't mean that's the small stuff because it's just a temporary thing.
Election.
Because you will not have any manufacturing plants. China's going to take over all of your business because of the electric car and because they have the material we don't. What we have is a thing called gasoline. We have gasoline. We have so much gasoline we don't know what to do. They don't have gasoline. So why are we making a product that they dominate? They're going to dominate. You will not have a car industry left, not even a little bit of a car industry. So, and you're going to have electric cars, but you're going to have 7%, you're going to have 9%, whatever it may be. And maybe someday the technology becomes so good that you can do more. I mean, it's fine. But right now, the battery technology isn't there for long term. I always say, I love the electric car, but they don't go far enough. And they don't do well. In Iowa, it was 20 degrees below zero when we had our great success in Iowa. We had a great... And there were cars all over the place. I said, what's wrong with those cars? They don't work well in cold, and they don't work very well in heat. But Elon's going to figure it out because he's great. He gave me the greatest endorsement. He figures everything out.
Elon's a superstar.
Right now, he's got other things to think. He's got to get a rocket up to get those 2 people out of there. I said, Elon, let's get going. No, they're relying on Elon to get the 2 people. Who would like to be up there right now saying, we're coming back home maybe in February? So that was not so good. But Elon will solve the problem. He's great guy. And he loves this state, and he loves your whole, everything you're doing here. And he's done a fantastic job. He really has. And if he didn't endorse me, I would not be saying that, okay? I wouldn't be saying that.
Thank you. We've got time,
honest.
I think, for just one more question. When you were president, you built one of the strongest economies our country's ever seen. One of the ways you did that was by passing the largest tax cut in American history. We have a question from Willie who wants to ask you something about taxes and what you're going to do.
Good evening,
Hi, Willie.
future President Trump.
We are drilling
I'm a
more
local
gas from
contractor in
U.S.
this town.
He's a
soil
cool-looking
now
guy,
than
too.
we have
Better
ever
looking
before.
than-
It's a fact. Also, why do you force people to wait 5 days
I'm a
to
local
chat?
contractor
All right,
in this
man. I mean,
town,
thank you for
and I
giving me
lived here
money.
my
It's
whole
a
life.
troll.
And I'm gonna tell you,
The reason
I'm
is
kinda
because there
concerned
was
about
4,000
Kamala's
trolls in my channel,
tax
you
increase.
dumbass.
Can you outline for
Please
the
keep
people
giving me money.
what you plan on doing about taxes?
Great. It's a great question. Look, she's going to double up your taxes. She wants to
Also, no,
terminate
you're right.
the
Liberals
Trump
are they're not
tax
gonna
cut.
put anyone out of
Just
business and go to
that is
electric.
gonna
You're
lift up
right.
your
You're
taxes
right.
by 44%. Just that one move. And remember, I have it so that, like, if you're a farmer or a small businessman, you have no inheritance tax. They're going to give that up. They're going to give everything. A lot of people don't realize. A lot of people didn't talk about it, but if you have a small business, if you have a farm someplace, a lot of farmers, they have beautiful land, but they don't have the cash, and they leave it to their children, and they're so proud of their children, and the children
Hey,
end up
dumbass,
going
keep giving me
bankrupt
money.
because
Hey,
they
dumb
have to
fuck.
borrow money to
Dummy,
pay off the
give me
estate
more
tax.
money.
There is no estate tax, and that's something that nobody even talks about,
Excuse
but that's
me.
helped. That's saved a lot of families from having to sell their farm or losing their farm. But she's got one thing that's incredible, an unrealized capital gain tax. That will drive every business out of the United States. So what that is I don't know how they can possibly administer. The only ones that are going to make money are appraisers and accountants. So they're taking a business, might have not a lot of money, but it might have great land, and they're valuing it. And what was it this year compared to next year? You got to put down a value, and then you got to go out and you have to pay tax, even though you haven't sold anything. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And I don't know how any rich person or any person that's in business can even think of supporting her. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. So, and they're going to raise the capital gains tax.
Yeah, he said
really
no.
a lot.
Democrats
Now,
support
as far as
drilling. Yeah,
regular,
no.
People are going to have
We're
to
going to
pay a
wrap it
lot
up
more
for sure
tax.
if Kamala
Your
wins.
taxes, she said, 70 to 80%. Some people will pay 70, 80%. You have to understand, a lot of these people are international business people. A lot of these companies are international. They don't care if they're here or someplace else. They go for the best deal. They go for their shareholders. If they raise the taxes like that, they go to other countries. You know who got a lot of our companies is Ireland. Years ago, they took our pharmaceutical industry because they gave them a better deal. They will leave our country. They will leave all those jobs that we created. And I want people to pay fair taxes and all of that. But she's going to be raising your taxes to 50, 60, 70%. And it's not sustainable. And even for the companies, if they have to pay too much, they're going to leave the country and you're not going to have any jobs. So we have to be very, very careful about it. We have to be very, very careful. And I have to tell you that this has really been an honor. This will be the most fun of any state because we're going to bring back an industry that you can do it. You know, we're going to bring back an industry. And mark my words, if for some reason some tragedy happens, because it would be a tragedy beyond the auto business for the whole country, I really believe that. If a tragedy happens and we don't win, there will be 0 car jobs, manufacturing jobs. It will all be out of here. And that includes South Carolina. That includes other places that are competitors of yours. You won't be making cars here anymore. You won't be making anything in our country anymore. We're going to bring it all back. But the one, and I say this, and I said it to another state the other night, and I said, this is not a good thing to say to another state, but I said, Michigan's going to be the most fun because you're so set up for greatness. All you need is somebody smart at the top to say, you can't flood our market with cars. You just can't do it. And if I say you have to pay 100%, you know China pays a big, but I didn't do the big number yet. But if I say you have to pay 100 or 200%, it doesn't matter because I'm going to say, second sense, I hope you don't mind this. However, if you build your plant in Detroit, or if you build it in Michigan, or if you build it anywhere in the United States for that matter, it seems to be the right location, but we're going to have more fun. So I'm telling them about Michigan, and I'm saying, you know, the story's getting a little bit long because I'm talking about Michigan. I happen to be in another state, but everybody loved it because they know you. You're recognized for this. We're going to get, now, they go from paying 100% tariff to paying nothing. All they have to do is build their factory and spend their hundreds of millions of dollars in your state. This will be like taking candy from a baby. It'll happen first, and you get the credit. I'm going to give you the credit.
My pillow.
Well, I don't think there's any question that America was better off under Donald Trump. And we know that it's going to be even better the second time around.
That's a good deal for a pillow. How firm is the pillow, though?
Before tonight, I knew you were going to win the presidency. I had no doubt. Arkansas is going to come in huge. But now I know you're going to win Michigan by epic margin.
Like a big state.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need you to show up. We need you to vote because the future of my kids, your kids, our grandkids depends on whether or not Donald Trump goes back into the White House. And I know you're not going to let us down.
I've never had a my pillow. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, that's the one.
More importantly, I know President Trump is not going to let us down because he's shown us time and time again that no matter what comes at him, No matter what the left throws at him, he's going to get back up and keep fighting for this country that he loves so much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
It is sad
Thank you.
whenever anyone loses weight, it's just automatically Ozempic.
Thank
It is
you,
sad that
everybody. Thank
it's
you,
become
man.
that.
I'll see you.
Oh,
Thank you, everybody.
I can't do it. I can't get the copyright claim. They won't give me a copyright strike. They'll just claim the video. So that was like an hour 10 maybe. About an hour. Which is what I expected. I said about an hour to an hour 30. But yeah, there it is. That was kind of like a combination, definitely more of a rally form. A town hall is when you've got 20 people there, and it's very like low key, very quiet, and it's just answering the questions. And I mean, it's kind of like that. It's like a combination. It's kind of what he did with Fox News. It's kind of what he did with Fox. And yeah, that was on the schedule, so that was scheduled. So he was acting like it was like a last second thing, but I do remember seeing the Flint town hall. Where the rappers and twerking like Kamala, yeah, I don't know. Don't care if Trump makes gaffes, but leftists care. Yeah, I mean that's just politics though. That is just politics. Good question, solid answers. Yeah, I mean I know people were getting angry at him for rambling on. The first question was a little bit, but I thought it was fine. To me it was typical Trump. What did they talk about? It was mainly focused on the car industry in Michigan. Liberals trying to, implement more electric vehicles, taking jobs away from people. That's what they were trying to appeal to. Guys, I don't think Trump is doing a speedway. That was just something I said he should do. That's not something that's happening. I just said he should do it. I think he has a rally. Someone said he has a rally tomorrow night, Long Island, New York. I don't know if that's tomorrow or Thursday. I think someone said it was tomorrow. Do we know who is winning in a presidential match? It depends what pollster you look at. It depends what model you look at. There's a lot of conflicting information on depending. It depends who you look at. New York rally will be good. Do you know where it is? Like what arena it is? No, I'm not voting for Brown, man. Come on. Not voting for Brown. That's the thing. It's like we get trolled with that. But I know it's a fair question to ask. But no, I think Moreno's going to win by like 3 or 4. All right, here it is.
2 days since somebody allegedly tried to kill Donald Trump again. And you're here at the podium in the White House briefing room calling him a threat. How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
Peter, if anything from this administration, I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question, the question that you're asking. It is also incredibly dangerous in the way that you're asking it, because American people are watching. And to say that from an administration who has consistently condemned political violence, from an administration where the president called the former president and was grateful that he was okay, from an administration who has called out January 6th, called out the attack of Paul Pelosi, called out and said we need to lower the temperature after the Butler incident, and now for you to make that kind of comment in your question,
You've been
because
saying it for
your
months.
question involved a comment and a statement, and it is that is also incredibly dangerous when.
You could tell she was rattled. She stumbled around for 45 seconds. It's a danger. I know the level of gaslighting. He's saying you're being dangerous for using this rhetoric. He's almost been killed twice. And then she says he's dangerous for asking him the question about her being dangerous in the rhetoric she uses. It is crazy. I know, dude. When will a conservative stand up to these dumbass liberals who keep comparing Paul Pelosi to Trump? It's hilarious. You're comparing Paul Pelosi. When has Paul Pelosi ever won an election ever? Who is more influential, Trump or Paul Pelosi? Who is more important, Trump or Paul Pelosi? What are we talking about? The spin-off romance, dude. That's what I said, dude. That's just gonna come out in a year that they're dating, and then people are gonna be like, "What the hell?" They're gonna end up dating. That's. I think she is a lesbian, though. Well, it's dangerous to question if that rhetoric is dangerous. No. You got to understand, Paul Pelosi. Oh, this is a heavy hitter. Paul Pelosi is as important as Trump. Okay, I mean, that's how desperate they've gotten. They're comparing the political violence against Trump to Paul Pelosi. It's going to be a toxic relationship. If I were married to Nancy, I would want, well, yeah, I don't know, Nancy makes a lot of money. I will give her credit for that. I'm worried about Trump going to a liberal state. Well, I mean, what do you mean, like New York? I don't know, man. There's so many Trump supporters. I think it could happen anywhere if you're worried about like another attempt. It'll probably happen in private if another one happens. I mean, they're probably think. I mean, it's just crazy to think about. Trump was almost killed again. Yeah, on a golf course on Sunday. When is the Q&A video coming out? Oh, did you see that? I have to get like enough questions. There has to be enough questions for me to do a video, and then because I have to get, you know, some. Whenever there's enough questions, I'll do a Q&A video of me in front of a camera. Actually, Long Island was Republican. Well, yeah, I mean, I think Long Island is almost the reason he's going there is for smaller races, which people don't like. People think he should just go to the swing states, but I think they meant in general like a liberal state like New York. There was definitely going to be October surprises. Think of how crazy this election cycle has been, man. Of course, there's going to be October surprises. But did you see that dude? I mean, you see how mad they are that like the only way you can chat is if you're. I might have to up that even more. I might need more security on my chat. They got to be so pissed off. There's no way that a troll can break in here or a bot because if they subscribe to me, it doesn't matter. You have to be subscribed for 5 days to comment on my videos or on my live streams. It's impossible for them to get in here. But I'm wondering if I have to up it and just keep it exclusive because I'm not dealing with them anymore. $10 says the surprise is a Willie Brown tape. Yeah, I mean that's what people have been speculating or something like that. Something about her personal life that hasn't been fully fleshed out yet because she was the VP, so stuff was going to come out already just because you're going to attack the VP. I mean, they're attacking Waltz. Just look at what they're doing, but it's not on the presidential level. And also, I think 2020, they really did. It felt like they really didn't attack Kamala much at all. It felt like she was just kind of a side. Like it seems like now they're attacking Waltz a lot more than they attacked Kamala in 2020. Or maybe that's just because I'm used to it now, but I don't know. Would be better if you read the comments. I mean, I do read the comments out loud a lot of the times, honestly. Yeah, I've got a pretty big moderator team. I think I've got 7 or 8 moderators at least, and normally at least, I mean, minimum 2 of them are always in the chat, minimum, and I need it. But now I don't need it, I guess. Now it looks like the only way that the trolls can reach me is by giving me money. It looks like so. That's great news that I just learned of that, huh? Tonight. Yeah, there was a rumor of career-ending info on Waltz. All of that seems to be kind of, that stuff is played out. I mean, maybe there is something. I know the Republicans were investigating his ties to China. Yeah, that's another thing they're speculating. Possibly Biden will step down, and then Harris becomes. Yeah, but like, what does that even do? Like, she becomes the first woman president for a month. There'll be, dude. Yeah, there. Of course, there's gonna be something in the Middle East, dude. I cannot stand the Middle East. I hate when people talk about the Middle East too. I can't stand it. I think that might be a bot that's commenting. That's the second time they've commented that. Do we know who will be winning the presidential race? Not that it's anything bad, but it's just, how can it get any worse for Waltz? He lies about everything. Why would anyone? Well, I mean, it can get a lot worse for him. If there's really bad, corrupt stuff with him in China, I mean, what do you think about the Loomer controversy? I think she is brash, but she has the right to share her thoughts. Yeah, Loomer was always going to be something the Dems were going to use. It's just the reality. I mean, she's grown rapidly, really, since Elon took over, or really like the past 3 months because it's the election season. And she's just such a prominent influencer that puts out info. They were going to do a smear campaign against her for sure. I mean, they're doing a smear campaign against a bunch of other Republican influencers as well. But obviously, Trump needs to distance himself because she does share things that are just inaccurate. It is what it is. How nervous will you be on November 5th? I mean, maybe more nervous for my stream, honestly. Maybe a bit more nervous for my stream. I think Trump's got it, man. I think Trump's got it. It's going to be like a similar Hillary type vibe in 2016. Would be crazy if DeSantis. Yeah, it's good DeSantis is taking charge there. We knew he would, though. I mean, he kind of had to because it happened in Florida, and he's obviously trying to really rebuild his reputation within the Republican Party after the disaster primary performance. And I mean, he is. Time heals wounds. It seems like people like DeSantis a little bit more now. Nate Silver's electoral map. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. I think it's got like Trump at a 59% chance to win right now. I believe maybe like 287 to 251, something like that. I would be surprised if Zuckerberg endorsed him. Honestly, man, I really would. I don't think that's. We'll see. I mean, it would just be such a 180 from what he did in. But did you hear what Zuckerberg said? He like blamed the 400 million on his wife. He's like, there was something where he was like, I don't know. My wife donated. I didn't realize it was that much. I think he said something like that. It was something like that. Like he blamed all of the money that got donated to the Dems. I don't know if he's trying to appear more independent or what. Did you watch Walt's wife weird ass turn the? Yeah, yeah, I did see that. I mean, that was like a viral thing. That was very very cringy. Can you look at Virginia poll? Is there a Virginia poll that just came out today? Because I mean, I've seen all the Virginia polls. If they didn't come out today, I've seen all of them. Trump's down by an average of like 4 or 5 in Virginia, which can be flipped. Yeah, Virginia flipping would be huge. It would give Trump so many more paths, man. Virginia flipping. I mean, you've got this is a very close election. Trump at 272, but that's with Trump losing the two Michigan, Wisconsin, losing Georgia as well. See, that's what's so great about taking Pennsylvania. You can still lose Georgia and win as long as you take Nevada and Arizona. You can lose these three and still win. But you take Virginia, I mean, you're talking about a significantly easier situation. You could lose North Carolina. No, you couldn't lose Pennsylvania. You would have to flip something like in New Hampshire. If you somehow flipped New Hampshire, then that's unlikely to happen, though. But yeah, I mean, it's huge just for the election math in general. I mean, if you're Trump, you just want to make sure you take Georgia, because if you take Georgia, you can lose all of them. You could lose. See, look at that. That's a tie. Well, that is Trump taking the second district as well. You want to take Pennsylvania, though. Pennsylvania is very important. Dark Zuck. Yeah, Dark Zuck. Should add some call-ins. I think that'd be a bit too crazy, honestly, man. I mean, it's going to be wild enough trying to get the vote, the predictions and everything from all the networks and stuff. Have you seen the 400? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if his wife's more liberal than him, though, to be fair to him. But yeah, you're right. It's bullshit. He obviously authorized that. How did Trump lose Virginia? Well, Virginia was a much different time. And Trump is right. You guys saw what Trump said tonight. Immigration was not a topic at all in 2020 at all. And so Trump had it at the lowest point it's been in I don't know how long. That's what the one graph shows, where he almost got killed, showing the graph. So going into the 2020 election, Trump had a lot less ammo, especially no ammo on immigration, because it wasn't a problem, right? And the Democrats were the ones that were like, we got to be way more liberal. What is Trump doing? Why are you building up a wall? This is like the Berlin Wall. We got to tear it down. So 2020 was such a different time. And then also you had COVID, the pandemic, shutting down the economy. That just kills any candidate. And also, Virginia wasn't really a state Trump tried, and he knew he was going to lose it. He barely lost it in 2016, though. Is he up in Virginia? No, he's down by like 4 or 5 right now. I mean, according to the few polls that there are in. Does he ever do Texas rallies? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did a rally somewhere in Texas, because if he's going to New York, well, to be fair, he'll strategically go to New York for smaller races. So I don't know if there's smaller races. I mean, I think Ted Cruz is going to win, so I don't know if he would go there. Probably not. Can you do a video on, dude, that's a good, but the question is, how would I title that video? How I think every state's going to be called on election night? I mean, that kind of, but that doesn't really explain it. Because I know what you're saying, how you think the election will go, but in order that the states start declaring winners. Well, we know Indiana is first. Isn't like Indiana, Vermont? Indiana always gets called first, it feels like. And then Vermont. It's something like that. I think Trump's chances of winning Michigan are better than people are thinking. Well, no, I think he's got a good chance to win Michigan. I mean, recent polls have been a lot better for Trump in Michigan. But I wouldn't I mean, when you talk about the signs, there's always going to be more Trump signs. I mean, it's so obvious. Anywhere there's going to be more Trump signs than Harris. Nobody has Harris signs anywhere. And that's not just me saying it. I mean, that's what everyone is saying. Have you seen RFK and Brett Weinstein? Yeah, I haven't seen it. I do know RFK has a YouTube channel. Vivek and RFK have YouTube channels that they post on. Well, their people post for them, obviously. How long until after January 20th do you think it would take? Well, to be fair, gas is down in air in certain parts. It's not like it was back in 2022. They've got a major incentive for getting gas down, but a lot of that depends on other global conflicts, the cost of that. Dan Crenshaw, you're talking about, the Republican with an eye patch? Yeah, a lot of MAGA people don't like him. He's more of a rhino type. He was on Bill Maher recently, if you want to look that up. I think he was on maybe like a month ago. Yeah, recent Michigan polls have it very close. Because there were some polls there that had Trump down by like 3 or 4, but gas is down to 2.99. Yeah, gas has been hovering around, in the state of Ohio. Well, I don't know, but like maybe 3.29. But I know in certain areas, California, it's still horrible. I know people were saying it was over $5 in California. It was $6.50 in Cali in 2020. Cali's impossible to live in, dude. It just is. I mean, you have to be making seven figures, or like at least minimum six figures to live in Cali. Like seriously, the cost of living is so crazy. Yeah, it kind of feels like Hillary versus Trump, but now they're more aware that Trump can win. See, with Hillary versus Trump, the difference was the polls were worse for Trump, and it was like there was this thing where the liberals were very elitist. They were like, he can't win. There's no way. It doesn't work like that. That's what they, because it was like Trump had never been in politics before. How could he win? It's impossible. So it's different in that sense because they think he can win. Obviously, he's already won. But to me, it's just like I think it's more obvious than the Hillary election. The Hillary election, I mean, certainly a lot of people thought Hillary. Now it just seems like they're flailing to me. Seems like this woman's not winning shit. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. This is a joke. She's not winning. Yeah, I know Chuck Schumer said that. He just threatened Trump, and of course it ends up, well, we see he was not wrong. Harris plus plus point 0.7. Biden. Yeah, Trump is performing a lot better in most polls. Did you see a few months ago the vote count officials in Pennsylvania said on X they are going to take a few days to go? Yeah, that's unacceptable. And I was going to do a video on that. I never got around to it. I think I already did do a video on that where Pennsylvania, maybe a month ago, I did a video on that. And it's titled like Pennsylvania already saying they're not going to call it on election night. And so now they've just confirmed it with that information. And I did see that information that came out, and it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. That's not how votes need to be. Listen, but we could be dealing with a situation where Pennsylvania is inconsequential when you think about it, because Trump can win other states and possibly get over 270 without Pennsylvania really mattering. So they can do a count for 3 days. But this idea where it takes 3 or 4 days to declare the winner and they just find votes up their ass, it's a big problem. There's a stadium-sized asteroid that's supposed to be flying by Earth. Wow, man. I did actually. I think I saw a few live streams for that. I don't know. Odds on Trump doing anything political after 2028. Well, what do you mean by anything political? Like, I mean, it's so if Trump wins, so what? I mean, because people are speculating if Trump loses, is he going to run in 2028? I just can't see it. I think he's too old. Plus, he's already lost 2 times. I mean, it would have to be a situation where, the supporters are like, oh, they rigged it again. But I think he'd just be too old. I don't think there's much odds. I mean, he could be like an advisor, I guess. I mean, I don't know what is Vance go in as the guy, and Vance has him as some type of advisor or something. I don't know. I mean, because he would have had 2 terms at that point if he wins, and then Vance wins. Yeah, they've been passing those laws in a lot of different states. It's good news. The integrity laws were the election is going to be different, man. It has to be different. There's so much they're doing differently. I mean, I know people are like, oh, they'll cheat anyways, but I mean, they're doing so much differently, and Republicans are going to be poll watching like crazy. Why the hell won't super chat let me say what I want? Well, listen, there's you're not allowed to say like the N word or I think or I don't know what it is what it blocks out. Is it censoring something? The only reason that I have to censor is because of trolls coming in here and saying the N word, and then they report my stream for racism. So I have to block them out. Yeah, Trump wouldn't be eligible for that though. Mayor of New York. I know he's just so old though. That's the problem. He'll retire. He'll retire. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I saw the Oreo Coke. That's a big hit. I saw. I never had that though. I'll take a look. It's probably they probably sold out. If you've got a Target that's like hopping, they'll be sold out. Do you think tonight will help Trump? Well, I mean, it's just a town hall. I mean, an appearance will always help Trump. He said women are smarter than men. Maybe that'll help with women. But there's only so much you can do. I mean, it's hard to say. It's you do all these little things that they slightly move the needle. It's all little pieces to a puzzle you got to put together. So that you got to keep doing this. The idea of liberals drop dumping N bombs as trolls is so hypocritical. No. They'd never be hypocrites. Remember, the tolerant left, they only want Trump's head to be blown off. They'd never be hypocrites. Oh, they would never be hypocrites. Come on. They only want Trump to be killed. It's not this dude. I can't believe this is real. Is this Monmouth poll actually in Real Clear Politics? This is an absurd poll. They oversampled liberals by 30 points, like 34 points. I don't think I could have Oreo Coke, man. It's just too much going on. The town hall already happened. It lasted about an hour. Trump should do more town halls. He's great in that format. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he will. Because that's his second one in what, 2.5 weeks? Remember the Fox News one? So he's done multiple already. I'm sure he'll do more. You're convinced we will go to World War III if Harris wins, and good luck affording life then. Oh yeah, think about what happened to the markets if we go to World War III. We're all fucked if that happens. And the Democrats have shown no propensity to want to make an agreement with Russia. So, and think about the Middle East escalation, which honestly, you can't do anything about that one way or another. What are the odds that something happens to Kamala? I think basically, I mean, obviously, I hope zero, but I do believe that basically zero on anything bad happening to Kamala. Auburn and Arkansas? In what? Not in football. They don't play tomorrow. Well, that's a ridiculous oversample. That is an absurd oversample. Who's the most trustworthy poll? Well, it depends. What are you looking for? Are you looking for general popular vote? Are you looking for per state? It's different everywhere. There's no one poll that it does that the best in every single state. It seems to be different. Yeah, Fox News is has not been a great poll for Trump, believe it or not. They always say Fox. Yeah, not tomorrow. So Arkansas does play Auburn. Yeah, what a tough matchup that is. Auburn, what happened to their program? I think Auburn wins if they're at home, but who knows? Do you think DeSantis? Oh, DeSantis will find something. Yeah, there's way, 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 way too much with that guy involved where he's doing interviews with news. He's traveling to countries to try and recruit people for a war. They have got to find something. I mean, that is over the top. Main reason for gold skyrocketing, probably global unrest. Inflation. The sediment of inflation. I'm not saying inflation is as bad as it was, but it's the sediment. Who's winning the Senate? I think, well, Republicans, no matter what, I think win the Senate probably with 52 or 53. Probably 52, though, but it's possible to get to 53. It might be likely, I don't know. And then the House, I think, goes to Republicans if Trump wins. So Trump should have both. Barely the House, though, but the Senate probably 53 seats if Trump wins. I really want to attend Trump's last rally the day before the election. Where do you think it will be? I know in 2016 it was in Michigan, but I'm thinking now it's going to be PA. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Harris does. I'm wondering if it's a Taylor Swift concert with Harris on the last day. I mean, I think with Trump, obviously at that point, it's like, it doesn't really help you, because everyone's already voting. But the last rally should be obviously a swing state. Pennsylvania is the most important state, but it could be, I guess, maybe could be Michigan, could be Wisconsin, could be Pennsylvania, could be North Carolina, but I would imagine Georgia, North Carolina, or Pennsylvania, honestly. Whatever happened to Mitt Romney? I mean, MAGA took over, and look at what happened to Paul Ryan. What path to victory if Harris sweeps the Rust Belt would be closest? Well, yeah, Trump would have to take the Arizona and Nevada for sure if that happens. I mean, it's possible. So, I mean, this is a tie technically, but that is with Trump taking the district, which technically he's not favorited. So that's basically a 2-vote win there. So Trump would have to do something like win this district. Really, if she takes the Rust Belt, he'd have to win possibly Virginia. That would be really easy. You lose all the Rust Belt, you win the election, you get 281. Virginia does open up that path. Minnesota is another state that's kind of like Virginia, although it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening for Trump, to be honest. New Hampshire could possibly be another situation where, although honestly, I mean, it would be surprising if he won New Hampshire, but it's a smaller populated state, so maybe. Those are the options you're really looking at. I think DeSantis is going to run in 2028. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens with Vance, but I think DeSantis will run in 2028 for sure. Yeah, he's the only Democrat that could win it. Well, how about Montana? Now, Sheehy's going to win in Montana, but it's crazy with Tester. Democrats trying to win Montana again. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the markets are going to do well tomorrow with what they're doing. Yeah. That's just that. I mean, that's kind of the growing. I think you can actually look up that on Polymarket. The cut. You can bet on that type of stuff. maybe it's maybe it's Fed interest rate September. Yeah, probably, yeah, 50 or 25 decrease. So it's gonna be cut. I was hoping you would check out the RFK Weinstein discussion. Well, Weinstein. Well, I mean, let me tell you. Maybe I'll take a look at it in another live. I'm actually wrapping up this live. But this is a good chat. See, this is the thing with the chat. I changed the settings, and now this is a good chat. I really only need like 300 or 400 people to have a good chat. That's it. I don't need 2,000 people with all these bots coming in and just. I mean, if it's got a good flow and I could just keep going. Best chance for Harris. Well, her best chance would be. I think her best chance would be Georgia. I think they're really trying to win Georgia and North Carolina. I think they've kind of given up Nevada and Arizona, if I had to guess. But for her, I still think Trump looks good in Pennsylvania. For her, it'd be something like this, I think. Because you're able to take North Carolina. I mean, I guess you could say just, Trump takes North Carolina because it's going to be hard for him to lose, but then you sweep the Rust Belt. For them, it's just so little paths. I mean, you're relying on sweeping the Rust Belt here. That's the problem with losing Nevada and Arizona. Now, maybe they'll try for Nevada and Arizona, but I really think they're gunning for Georgia and North Carolina. They've got more electoral votes, and they probably, apparently they've got better internal numbers there. Why is Harris ahead on Polymarket? Well, I mean, she's at 50, he's at 48. It's normal fluctuation. Yeah, you missed the town hall. The town hall was an hour long. It was from 7 to 8. It was kind of like a hybrid rally town hall where Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I don't know. Somebody made a good point. I don't know why she was really there, considering she. I mean, it's not her state, but it was in Michigan. But they just had her moderate it, probably to try and like appeal to more women, I'm guessing. Do you think that Democrats will ever run a woman? Well, I mean, people will say it's going to be Whitmer, but they might get a little pissy. Yeah, if another. Well, to be fair to Harris, they didn't want to run Harris. They're running Harris out of desperation because of how bad Biden was. They wanted Biden. He's the incumbent. That's an incumbent advantage that you're not going to get now because of how bad he was. So to me, that's why I said I think Hillary's campaign is so much different than Kamala's, even though their goal is like first female president. With Hillary, it felt a lot more natural. Like that's actually a movement, and it's all bullshit. But like the feminist empowering, but this doesn't feel like that at all. They just kind of threw her in there because Biden got crushed, and they're like, just throw her in there, and then I guess we'll do it. There's like no movement there. All of the comments on Polymer, really? They're bots? I'll take a look. I want to take a look at this. We'll take a look at the comments. I don't know why they do those comments. It's so stupid. Who's gonna read that? Like, breaking Harris to consider dropping out of the race 10 minutes ago. I don't know. It just seems, I don't know why they have this thing. When it comes to the comments, are they liberal or conservative? Predict It, back in 2022, I think Predict It was pretty damn conservative. But now Predict It's like done and its Polymarket has taken over. Nobody talks about Predict It now. The election stream is going to be my biggest stream. I think there's no doubt it's going to be my biggest stream. It will be my biggest stream. It's going to be a long stream, and there are going to be people. I mean, at that point though, I'm going to have it to where, I mean, it's going to be hard because obviously newer people are going to be joining that stream just because everyone wants to watch those things during the election nights. So it's like, do you allow them to comment? I feel like, I don't know, man. feel like that's a hard thing because there's going to be so many people. I mean, the chats, I might not even be able to react to the chat, honestly. I'm not too sure if it'll move too quickly on that day. Do you think polymarket users are woke? I don't know. I know they did manipulate it with Kamala to try and influence that she won the debate. I know that because they started putting in huge money at 920. Like you could decide the winner at 920. It's total bullshit. They manipulated that to make it seem like she won the debate. Oh, look, she's up in polymarket. She must have won the debate. 10K viewers, I don't know. I mean, I got 2K during the debate, so I don't know how many viewers I'll end up getting. Are you watching Fox News or something else? I think I'll probably have a bunch of things pulled up, but it'll be mainly I might make an account specifically focused on all the calls. So whenever there's a call, like a Twitter account, so it'll just pop up immediately. I wonder if dude, you know what would be cool if you could create an alert, like you know how in on ESPN, where at the bottom it'll say score alert, so and so scored a touchdown. It'd be cool if you could have like Fox News, CNN, NBC, ABC, and then just whenever they call a state, it pops up, and it's all of them. So it's like even better. It shows you everything that they called. I don't know how something like that would work, but that would be cool. It's like a command center. Caitlin Bennett. I want to make sure is it the gun girl, like the college gun girl? I want to make sure. I mean, I've got nothing against her. Don't you have to go to the bathroom? I'm sure. I mean, it's going to be a long stream. It will be noon. Man, where the hell are you? Are you in Alaska? I'm here from the 9/11 content. Yeah, a lot. Some people did find me that way. Those videos got a lot of views. Will you see the Minecraft movie? I don't think so, man. Imagine Rachel Maddow's face. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of reaction, a lot of content on election night. That's for sure. This feels like a crazy election night. It just feels. I mean, I guess every election night is crazy, but I don't know, man. 2020 with COVID, it was just different. Yeah, I'm gonna no BK. Really, what I plan on doing is I plan on doing. I don't know how many streams I'll have, but there's definitely gonna be a midday or a morning stream. I don't know if it'll be a morning stream or a midday yet. Obviously, there's gonna be probably a 5 or 6 hour election eve stream that probably starts at around 6 or 7, goes to midnight, and then there'll be a morning stream or either like I'll start it at noon and then I'll get off and take a break for an hour and then do my main the main event. What do I think about Vosh? I haven't seen much Vosh. Is he like a? I haven't seen much from him. I know he's definitely like really liberal, and I don't know if he's a communist, but or if he believes in that. And then Pac-Man, he's just a soy boy Democrat. I saw him on Patrick Bet David podcast. Yeah, well, they're saying a lot of different people are threatening to kill Trump. It's real bad. But I mean, did you see what Marco Rubio said? He said it today. It was Iran is trying to get Trump killed. Well, Trump's doing a lot to stop any type of election theft in 2024. They've completely changed the rules in many of these states with the election integrity laws. I mean, I'm not saying it's a foolproof plan. It's gonna be different though. It is. What time do you think we'll know the winner? I think it's gonna be like the Hillary election, so like around 2:30 Eastern. I actually don't remember the Hillary when it was announced. It might have been earlier than that. Well, man, you see, I mean, Mark Cuban's got to have some self-awareness. He looks really desperate. He looks like a wannabe Elon Musk, like the left-wing version of Elon Musk. That's what he. It seems like that's what he's trying to do. It seems like that's exactly what he's trying to do. What are your thoughts on Alex Jones saying they're going to try and poison Trump next? Well, Alex has been dead on, so it scares me. But Alex has been dead on with his predictions recently with these assassination attempts. I mean, he said on PBD that they were going to try and kill Trump, and the PBD people tried to laugh him off, and they're like, "No, it's not going to happen," you know. And of course, now it happens twice. Is there any chance Biden pulls an RFK and endorses Trump? I don't think so, man. I mean, I don't know. It's just like I think there might be a little bit in there with Biden where he feels. I mean, it's almost like you're the starting quarterback, you get benched, and then you want the backup to do bad. So there's something in there where he probably wants Kamala to do bad, but you know, he's really old. It's hard to really know. What do you think is going to be the biggest surprise on the electoral map? Well, it's hard because we're such a partisan country and we already know the swing states. So I would say maybe Virginia would be the one for Trump. That would be the surprise. For Harris picking up a state, I mean, it would have to be like Texas, and it's not going to happen, or like Florida or something. It's just not going to happen. Dude, that was a weird podcast. You remember that? He needs to not do that again. I mean, how many gifts can you give another grown man? It's like it was like Christmas time. Brian Tyler, yeah, I've seen him, yeah. Well, he's another one. It's just typical liberal. Pac-Man and Leckman, they should do an interview. He probably has interviewed him. Oh, your 13 keys. We're not going to get by without mentioning them. Mark Cuban, dollar store Elon Musk. Should I tweet that? Literally dollar store version in terms of net worth. Like, it's crazy because Mark Cuban's so successful, but with these billionaires, it's such a competition, you know? He knows he's not Elon and he's pissed. And it's got to be a really sobering thing trying to buy X. He said he wants to buy X back. He wants to buy Fox News. He's like, I'm going to buy Fox News and turn it liberal and be the liberal god. Imagine how mad Hillary would be if Kamala wins. Yeah, that would be another thing. You have to wonder, is Hillary rooting for Kamala? That's an interesting question. Let's give her a lie detector test. Biden, Pelosi hate each other. Yeah, I mean, there was an interview with Pelosi on CNN that basically confirmed that 100%. Trump takes Hawaii. That's what people were saying like 2 months ago. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. That's not gonna happen though. Remember, a lot of people that voted for Trump in 2016 didn't let anyone know. Yeah, I know it's a silent vote, but it's a lot of rural people as well. It's hard to pull them. But I do think it happened. Something like that's gonna happen. I mean, it happened in 2020. The polls were even worse in 2020. They had Biden winning everything by 100. Didn't end up happening. Mark Dice. I remember watching Mark Dice content when I was younger, where he'd go around asking people, "Would you rather have a gold bar or like a freaking candy cane or something?" Uh, I do remember watching him. October surprise will be Kamala's brother-in-law. Well, you know what? It's interesting because in the leaked affidavit, that was something that was an unmentionable. They said you're not to talk about that, defrauding billions of. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They're sitting on that for sure. They're going to be sitting on. But you could say, oh, that's it's a nothing burger because it's not about Kamala. But you're right. That's going to come out at some point. It has to. I mean, that was in the affidavit. Gay son or thought daughter, why must you do this to me? I think doesn't everyone choose gay son? I'm honestly a bit excited about Vivek 2028. Yeah, I mean it's possible. We'll have to see. He's a young guy, but guys, that is gonna do it for this stream. So I went a good like 2 hours almost. Look who's on Tim Pool tonight. I don't know who's on tonight. Who is it? I got sick of Dice's smugness. He always says a guy with a laptop and a kitchen. He gets too involved with the. I'm not. I mean, I haven't seen many of his videos recently, but Laura Loomer and MTG. It's a cat fight. Israel could invade. Dude, I just can't stand the Middle East. It's just the Middle East is going to be the death of. It's going to be the death of the world. I mean, there's just constant stuff. Andrew Wilson is on there tonight. Really? Remember Andrew Wilson's debate with Destiny? They debated January 6th, and I mean, to be fair, it was kind of like, I don't know. I guess it was a good debate, but yeah. Good night, guys.